The unearthed secret. The desert doesn't forgive mistakes. Elias Wren learned that on his first dig, 20 years ago, when the sun blistered his back and the sand buried 3 weeks of work in a single night. But today, the desert has given something back, something impossible. The excavation site sprawls across a valley that time forgot, jagged rock formations casting long shadows over ancient stone. His team moves like ants around the perimeter, brushes in hand, cameras flashing. But Elias stands alone at the center, staring up at what they've uncovered. A statue, 12 feet tall, carved from a material that isn't stone, isn't metal. Something that drinks in the light and reflects it back in waves of silver and blue. The craftsmanship is beyond human capability. Every curve is mathematically perfect. Every line suggests movement frozen mid-breath. But it's the eyes that stop him cold. They're open, hollow, yet somehow aware. Dr. Wren, this is incredible. We need to catalog this immediately. His assistant's voice feels distant, muffled by the pulse hammering in his ears. The rest of the team celebrates around him. Hugs, laughter, the crackle of radio chatter to base camp. But Elias can't move, because the statue is looking at him, not at the dig site, not at the crowd, at him. He's seen thousands of artifacts, held bones older than civilization, stood in tombs where kings were sealed in darkness for millennia. But nothing has ever looked back, until now. The wind picks up, carrying whispers of sand across the valley floor. The sun dips lower, painting the ruins in burnt orange and violet. His team begins to pack up for the night, their voices fading into the hum of generators and distant engines. Elias doesn't leave. He waits until the camp falls silent, until the stars emerge, cold and infinite, above the ancient stone. Then he approaches the statue again, alone, flashlight in hand. The beam catches its face, sharp cheekbones, a jawline too symmetrical to be natural. And those eyes, empty sockets that seem to follow his every step. He reaches out, his fingers hover inches from its surface, trembling. And then, a voice, faint, barely a breath, but unmistakable. Elias. His heart stops. The wind dies. The desert holds its breath. And in the silence that follows, the statue whispers his name again. A name he's never spoken aloud at this site. A name no one here should know. Elias Wren. He stumbles backward, flashlight clattering to the ground. The beam spins wildly across the sand, illuminating nothing. No one. He's alone, but the voice lingers in the air like smoke. And deep in the hollow eyes of the statue, something flickers, something alive. Elias doesn't sleep. He sits in his tent, laptop open, replaying the audio from his recorder over and over. He'd pressed record the moment he heard it. The voice, his name, the impossible whisper. But the file plays back only static. White noise, wind, the distant hum of the generator. Nothing else. He scrubs through the waveform, adjusts the filters, isolates frequencies. Nothing. It's as if the voice existed outside of sound itself, outside of anything his equipment could capture. His hands shake as he closes the laptop. Auditory hallucination, exhaustion, heat stroke. He lists the rational explanations like a mantra, but none of them stick, because he felt it. The way the air changed, the way the temperature dropped, the way the statue's gaze locked onto him with the weight of recognition. By dawn, he's back at the site. The team won't arrive for another hour. He has time. The statue looms in the early light, its surface shimmering faintly as the sun crests the horizon. Elias circles it slowly, studying every detail. The strange geometric patterns etched into its arms, the flowing script that spirals down its torso in a language he doesn't recognize. And then he sees it. At the base, near where the statue's feet meet the stone platform, there's a faint seam, a hairline crack glowing with a soft, pulsing light. Blue, then silver, then blue again, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Elias drops to his knees, brushing away the sand. The glow intensifies under his touch, warm against his fingertips. He presses his palm flat against the surface, and the pulse answers. Thump, 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 slow, steady, alive. He jerks his hand back, breath catching in his throat. The glow fades, but the rhythm remains, faint and insistent, echoing through the stone beneath him. This isn't possible, he whispers, but the statue doesn't care what's possible. It is. He stands, legs unsteady, and moves to the front of the statue again. The symbols on its torso, angular, alien, impossibly intricate, begin to shift, slowly at first, like water finding a new path, then faster, rearranging, reforming, until they coalesce into something he understands, a shape, a silhouette, human, his. Elias stares at the glowing outline of a man carved into the alien script, shoulders, head, arms outstretched, and feels the ground tilt beneath him, because it's not just any figure, it's his exact height, his exact proportions, down to the slight asymmetry in his left shoulder from an old injury. The statue knows him, not just his name, him. Footsteps crunch in the sand behind him. His assistant, Maria, approaches with a tablet and a coffee thermos, her expression bright with excitement. Dr. Wren, we've got the mineral composition results back. This thing isn't from Earth. The isotopic signature doesn't match anything in our database. She stops. Elias hasn't turned around. He's still staring at the statue, at the glowing silhouette that's already beginning to fade. "Are you okay?" she asks CONC. Elias locks himself in the research tent. He tells Maria it's for documentation, for analysis. But the truth is simpler, and far more terrifying. He's afraid. The glowing symbols from the statue, the ones that formed his silhouette, have been burned into his mind. He sketches them obsessively, filling pages with geometric patterns and alien script, trying to decode meaning from shapes that twist and shift even in memory. And then, buried in the chaos of lines, he finds it. Coordinates, not written in longitude and latitude, but encoded in mathematical constants. Ratios that describe location in three-dimensional space. He cross-references them with the excavation site, adjusts for magnetic variation, and the answer crystallizes. They point down, directly beneath the statue, 50 meters below ground. He doesn't tell the team. Not yet. Instead, he waits until nightfall, gathers his gear, and descends alone into the narrow access shaft they drilled during initial surveys. The air grows colder with every meter. His headlamp cuts through darkness so thick it feels solid. The walls narrow. His breath echoes. And then, the shaft opens into a chamber. Elias drops down onto smooth stone, his boots barely making a sound. The space around him is vast, cathedral-like, carved from rock that gleams with that same alien sheen as the statue above. But this place is different. It's active. Rows of cylindrical pods line the walls, each one encased in translucent material that pulses with soft, bioluminescent light. Inside each pod, something floats, suspended in fluid, curled in fetal position. Elias moves closer, heart hammering. The figures are humanoid, arms, legs, a torso, but their skin shimmers with opalescent hues, silver, blue, violet. Their eyes are closed, peaceful, sleeping, or waiting. He walks down the row, counting 12 pods, 13, 20, and then he stops, because in the 21st pod, the figure is different. It's human, fully, unmistakably human. Pale skin, dark hair, features still forming, soft and incomplete, like an unfinished sculpture. Elias raises his hand to the pod's surface, fingers trembling. The translucent material ripples under his touch, warm and yielding. Inside, the figure shifts slightly, as if responding to his presence. He leans closer, trying to see its face, and his blood turns to ice. Because it's him, not a clone, not a twin, but him as he might have been before birth. Features not yet set, body not yet grown, but unmistakably, impossibly his. The pod hums, the fluid inside glows brighter, and carved into the base, in that same shifting alien script, words form in English. Echo seed, temporal anchor, Elias Wren. His legs give out. He collapses to his knees, gasping, mind fracturing under the weight of what he's seeing. This isn't an artifact. It's not a ruin. It's a nursery, and he's in it. The whisper returns, louder now, no longer faint or distant. It fills the chamber, resonating from the walls, the pods, Elias doesn't return to camp. He sits in the chamber for hours, back against the cold stone, staring at the pod that holds his echo. The impossible twin, the seed of a life he hasn't lived yet. Or maybe he has. Maybe that's the point. The visions don't stop. They come in waves now, fragments of a life that exists somewhere beyond the linear flow of time. He sees battlefields painted in stars, hears the roar of engines propelling ships faster than light, feels the weight of decisions that determined the survival of entire civilizations. And in every vision, he is there, not as Elias Wren, archaeologist, but as something else, someone else, a commander, a strategist, a leader forged in the fires of an interstellar war humanity doesn't even know happened yet. He closes his eyes, and the memories sharpen. A council chamber, vast and circular, with walls that display live feeds from 100 worlds. Beings of every shape gather around a central hologram, star maps, tactical grids, countdowns ticking towards zero. Elias stands at the head, but his reflection in the polished floor shows someone different, taller, stronger, eyes glowing faintly with that same silver-blue light. They've breached the outer rim, a voice reports. Insected. Clicking. Urgent. Redirect the fleets to Sector 9. Elias, no, the other him, commands. His voice is calm, absolute. Evacuate the colonies. Burn the archives. They cannot reach the origin node. Commander, if we lose the node, we lose everything. The timeline will collapse. Then we don't lose it. The hologram shifts, shows a planet, blue and green and achingly familiar. Earth. The failsafe is there, someone says, hidden in the desolation, buried where no one will find it. Until he does. The other him looks directly at the hologram, at Earth, at the desert where, millennia from now, a man named Elias Wren will dig. He'll come, the commander says, because he always does. Elias gasps, eyes snapping open. The chamber is silent again. The pods glow faintly, patient and eternal. But now he understands. This isn't a discovery. It's a trap. No, not a trap. A loop. The alien civilization didn't leave this place as a warning or a monument. They left it as a trigger. A mechanism designed to activate when someone, him, reached the right point in the timeline. The statue, the whispers, the visions, all of it is pulling him toward a moment that's already happened, somewhere in the future, and needs to happen again. Or for the first time. He doesn't know anymore. Time has stopped making sense. His hand moves to his pocket, fingers brushing the small digital recorder he's been carrying since the first whisper. He presses play. Static. But this time, underneath the white noise, there's something else. A rhythm. A pattern. He isolates it, loops it, plays it back at half speed, and hears his own voice. Not as it is now, but as it was in the vision. Deep, commanding, certain. Elias, remember, you chose this. The recorder slipped. By the time Elias climbs back to the surface, the desert is alive with light. The statue glows, not faintly, not in pulses, but with radiant, blinding intensity. Silver-blue energy pours from every seam, every carved line, every symbol etched into its surface. The team has retreated to a safe distance, cameras rolling, voices overlapping in awe and panic. But Elias walks forward, drawn, compelled. The heat radiating from the statue should be unbearable, but it isn't. It's warm, familiar, like returning to a home he didn't know he had. The symbols race across its body now, faster and faster, forming and dissolving in patterns that rewrite themselves every second. And then, the statue moves. A sound like continental plates grinding together echoes across the valley. Cracks spiderweb across its surface, glowing brighter with every fracture. Pieces fall away, not breaking, but shedding, like a chrysalis opening. And beneath the stone shell, something else. A being of pure energy, standing 12 feet tall, shaped like a man but impossibly graceful. Its form shifts between solid and translucent, as if it exists in multiple states simultaneously. Eyes, real eyes, not hollow sockets, open, silver, infinite, seeing everything. The team screams. Someone runs. Engines roar to life in the distance. But Elias stands frozen as the being steps down from the platform, its movements fluid, deliberate. Each footfall hums with resonance that vibrates through the ground, through the air, through him. It stops 3 feet away and kneels. The gesture is slow, reverent. The towering alien figure bows its head before Elias, one hand pressed to its chest in a salute that transcends culture, transcends species. When it speaks, its voice is the same whisper that called his name, but now amplified, layered, echoing with the weight of eons. Commander, you have returned. Elias shakes his head, struggling to breathe. I don't. You are not yet born. The being continues, rising to its full height. But you once saved us all. Your echo sleeps below. Your future waits ahead. And your choice is now. What choice? Elias's voice cracks. I don't understand any of this. The being extends a hand. In its palm, light coalesces into a crystalline shard, angular, pulsing, impossibly intricate. The same energy that flows through the statue, through the pods, through the visions. This is the origin key, a fragment of the node you will one day command. With it, you can rewrite the timeline, undo the war before it begins, save billions of lives across 1,000 worlds. Elias stares at the shard. It hums, calling to him with the same magnetic pull as the statue, as the pods, as the memories that aren't his but are. And if I take it, he whispers, you will cease to exist as you are. Your consciousness will merge with the seed below. You will be born again, in the future, as the commander we need, the man who stands between annihilation and survival. And if I don't, the being. By the time Elias climbs back to the surface, the desert is alive with light. The statue glows, not faintly, not in pulses, but with radiant, blinding intensity. Silver-blue energy pours from every seam, every carved line, every symbol etched into its surface. The team has retreated to a safe distance, cameras rolling, voices overlapping in awe and panic. But Elias walks forward, drawn, compelled. The heat radiating from the statue should be unbearable, but it isn't. It's warm, familiar, like returning to a home he didn't know he had. The symbols race across its body now, faster and faster, forming and dissolving in patterns that rewrite themselves every second. And then, the statue moves. A sound like continental plates grinding together echoes across the valley. Cracks spiderweb across its surface, glowing brighter with every fracture. Pieces fall away, not breaking, but shedding, like a chrysalis opening. And beneath the stone shell, something else. A being of pure energy, standing 12 feet tall, shaped like a man but impossibly graceful. Its form shifts between solid and translucent, as if it exists in multiple states simultaneously. Eyes, real eyes, not hollow sockets, open, silver, infinite, seeing everything. The team screams. Someone runs. Engines roar to life in the distance. But Elias stands frozen as the being steps down from the platform, its movements fluid, deliberate. Each footfall hums with resonance that vibrates through the ground, through the air, through him. It stops 3 feet away and kneels. The gesture is slow, reverent. The towering alien figure bows its head before Elias, one hand pressed to its chest in a salute that transcends culture, transcends species. When it speaks, its voice is the same whisper that called his name, but now amplified, layered, echoing with the weight of eons. Commander, you have returned. Elias shakes his head, struggling to breathe. I don't. You are not yet born. The being continues, rising to its full height. But you once saved us all. Your echo sleeps below. Your future waits ahead, and your choice is now. What choice? Elias's voice cracks. I don't understand any of this. The being extends a hand. In its palm, light coalesces into a crystalline shard, angular, pulsing, impossibly intricate. The same energy that flows through the statue, through the pods, through the visions. This is the origin key, a fragment of the node you will one day command. With it, you can rewrite the timeline, undo the war before it begins, save billions of lives across 1,000 worlds. Elias stares at the shard. It hums, calling to him with the same magnetic pull as the statue, as the pods, as the memories that aren't his but are. And if I take it, he whispers, you will cease to exist as you are. Your consciousness will merge with the seed below. You will be born again, in the future, as the commander we need, the man who stands between annihilation and survival. And if I don't, the light consumes him, not painfully, not violently. It simply is. Elias feels his body dissolve, not into nothingness, but into everything. Every atom, every particle, spreading across space and time like ink in water. He is the desert, the stars, the past and the future, existing simultaneously, stretched across an infinity he can't comprehend but somehow knows. And then, silence, not the absence of sound, but the presence of something deeper, a stillness that holds entire universes within it. He opens his eyes. He's in the pod, not as an echo, not as a seed, but as himself. The fluid drains away, the translucent shell retracts. He steps out onto cold stone, his legs steady, his body whole, but different. He looks down at his hands. They glow faintly, silver and blue, pulsing with the rhythm he first felt in the statue. The origin key is gone. Or rather, it's inside him now, woven into his DNA, his consciousness, his very existence. The chamber is empty. The other pods are dark, their occupants long gone. But he's not alone. The being of light stands at the entrance, watching him. Welcome back, Commander. Elias, no, the commander, nods slowly. Memories flood in, clear and complete. The war, the node, the sacrifice, the loop. All of it was real, and now, so is he. What happens now? He asks. His voice is different, deeper. The archaeologist is gone. Or maybe he's still there, buried beneath layers of purpose and time. Now you lead, as you always have, as you always will. The being fades, dissolving into light that flows upward, through stone and sand, back to the surface. The commander follows. He emerges into daylight. But it's not the desert he left behind. The valley has changed. Structures rise in the distance. Spires of crystalline material, humming with energy. Ships drift overhead, sleek and silent. Beings of every imaginable form move through the settlement, working, building, living. And at the center, where the statue once stood, there's a monument. The commander approaches it slowly, footsteps echoing on polished stone. It's a statue, 12 feet tall, carved with impossible precision, features frozen in a moment of quiet determination. Human features, his features, Elias Wren, or what he once was, carved into the base, in a dozen languages. Some human, most not, a single inscription. He who chose. The commander places a hand on the statue's surface. It's warm, alive, remembering. I'm sorry, he whispers to the man he used to be, the archaeologist who loved discovery, who wanted nothing more than to uncover the past. But thank you. The statue doesn't answer. It doesn't need to, because somewhere, buried in the commander's mind, Elias Wren is still there, still digging, still searching, and in a way, he finally found what he was looking for. 300 years later, or perhaps 300 years before, time has become negotiable. A young explorer descends into a desert valley on Earth. The ruins are old, forgotten, buried by